Want to know how to get the perfect nameset curve using our tool? Then check this video out. Hello there. In today's video, I'm going to be showing you how to perfect this arch, the perfect arch for a football nameset. But before I do, I just want to tell you a little bit about this shirt. This is the AC Milan away shirt from 95 to 96. Worn by Baggio, Desai, Maldini. This reminds me of being a 15-year-old watching European football, seeing the powerhouse of Italian football on the screen, thinking how amazing they were, playing Championship Manager and wanting to buy the players, but Bobic, players like that from teams like AC Milan. And this shirt takes me right back there. It was the first season that they introduced namesets in Serie A, and it was AC Milan's 15th Scudetto or championship victory. So that's this shirt. I love it. I have the home, the away, the third and the fourth. There's a fourth shirt, an amazing blue one in that season. And this shirt, one of my favourites. So about this amazing shirt. Now let's tell you about curves for namesets. So not all namesets have a curve. Sometimes you can do it straight. Sometimes you do it with a curve. For more modern Premier League curves, there's a lot more structure around the arch and the distance between the nameset and the letters. Whereas in the past, it was a little bit more of the Wild West. You could kind of do whatever you wanted. So this shirt, as I've shown you, is an example of that arch. And it's very difficult to do accurately without something to help you. Now, what I use is one of these. Now, I don't know if you can see, but this is an arch. Here we go. And it has numbers along the bottom, and that's how they kind of come. But what I have done is add some improvements to it to make it slightly more useful and make life easier when you're kind of positioning things. Now, these are quite hard to come by, but I've been able to get a few. I've ordered a few in, so I'll be selling some. Drop us a DM if you'd like them. They'd be £15 plus postage and packaging. And whilst they won't have these marks on them, I'm doing this video to show you about the marks and why they're there, so that if you want to buy one or even make one, you can make one yourself. But if you do buy one or make one, you can put the lines on yourself and you make your life easier. So what I'm going to do is I'll take you over to the other side and I will show you what to do. Right, so here we are over on the bench. Now, what you're going to need for this is some scissors, felt tip pen, some tape. So this is application tape on a roll, or also you can use, this is like a whole roll of application tape that I use for namesets. I mean, if you're not printing your own namesets, you probably don't need a whole roll like that. But I find for what we're going to do today, it's a bit more helpful because you can cut thicker strips of the application tape and you'll see what they're going to be used for in a moment. Now, what we got here, Lundberg nameset. We love you, Freddie. That would have been, well, that was in a straight line. So I've cut out the individual letters so I can show you how to pull it in a curve, making use of this curve template. Now, what you'll see is that some of the letters we've cut off the corner because it helps out with the spacing. If there's a sharp corner, then you end up getting the letters spacing incorrect. So first things first, we've got the template. Let's lay the template out. Now we're going to get the letters. And now if you look at the letters, it's cut straight across the bottom with a uniform gap between the bottom and the letter. I'd say it's about 1 mil all the way around. And what you do is you just need to put the letters on the curve so that the bottom of the letter is touching the curve. There we go. So we're just going to go around and get them all set up. God, I'm rubbish at multitasking. You can tell I can't do a curve and talk at the same time. Now, looking at this, I'd say the letters, yeah, I'd say they're spaced out quite well. But if you're unhappy, you can kind of just move them around. You might want to lift curve template a little bit just so that you can get it tip of the letter underneath the template. And you want to make sure that the spacing between all of the letters is uniform. And I would say maybe that B needs to come over just a little bit. There we go. I would say that looks pretty good. Now we've got them in the curve. Don't worry about whether they're in the middle or what have you. As long as you've got the letters in a uniform with uniform spacing and you've got them in the curve, you can either use the application tape. So you take off a length of that and you pull it across a number of letters. Here we go. So we've done that one. Now, I'm not a massive fan of using this tape because it's quite thin. What you can use, if you've got a roll of the other application tape, is you can use a thicker band of the thick tape. And now that will span multiple letters and have more purchase on the letters. There we go. So that's that first one. This is the next one. So let's go. Now this has got a letter J in, which is a bit of a pain because the bottom of the J is below the line of the letter. So you need to make sure that is done correctly. I think that looks like it's done. So now let's put the tape. There we go. So now it's quite sturdy, but then one for luck, we'll put another one over there. And we can see now that that looks pretty good. So now we've got a nice curve. The letters spacing is correct. The curve is correct. And they're all taped together quite sturdily, so you don't have to worry about them moving. So next thing, now we need to show you what these marks are all about. Now for this, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to find the middle of this name set, or this name, so that you can line up the middle with the middle of the shirt. And we've got a video on how to do the perfect heat press. It's going to be somewhere in the corner, a link to it, and that will show you on that. But what we're going to do is we're going to use these, I'll show you, these lines around the outside. We're going to use them to line up the letters. Now, what I've done is I've written numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I know if the G, for example, is right there by the 5, I know that the L needs to be at the same place on this 5. So we're going to line it up so that they're equally spaced. So that a little bit more, I think. So I'd say it's about right. Hang on. So the G, if you can see, the G is just short of the 5. So that means we want the beginning of the L to be just short of 5. And that is good. So now this is the middle point on the name set. So with a permanent marker, I'm just going to mark that on so that I can draw a line with the straight edge of the ruler just to make sure. I'll tell you what, instead of doing it that way, I'll show you a way to make sure that even the line you draw is straight. So here is one of our ones that we have available for you to buy, and I'm going to line up the straight edge with the line on the middle of the template. So I now know it's a straight line, and I'm just going to draw that line up there. So we've got that line. So now I know that that is the middle line there that is going to line up with the middle line on the shirt. And I know it's in the middle because the outside of the G and the outside of the L are in the same place on the 1 to 5 bit of this tool. So the next thing you need to do is work out where you're going to put the number, assuming you're going to put a number on. Of course, I mean, it's a name set, so you should be putting, for Freddie, I think it was number 8. So we would put 8. It needs to go in line underneath the name, but at a set spacing. Now, I think for Premier League, it was around about 60 mil, and for kids, I think it was about 40 mil. So what I've done on this is I've drawn these lines. So you can see this one's 30 mil, 40 mil, 50 mil, 60 mil, and that's from the top up there. And it goes all the way to the edge. So you now know that if you want to line up where that 8 is going to go with a heat sensitive marker. Do not use a permanent marker because you're going to be marking the fabric. With the heat sensitive marker, you're going to find that line. So assuming it's on a shirt, say we're going to do the 60, which is there, we put a dot there in the line and a dot there, and then we would use the straight edge to join up lines. And then you have the 60 centimeters from the bottom of the G spacing, which is where you would line up the top of the 8. I'll tell you what, let's quickly do that. Here's the 8. So what we would do is we would find the middle of the 8. Won't do that on this video, but you do the middle of the 8 and you would line it up with this middle line, and you would line it up with the 60 mils line that you'd just drawn, and there you would have your spacing. So that's explaining why we've got these numbers here around the side. That's for the letter, the positioning of the word, of the name. Then you've got these lines here, which are for the curve, the spacing for where the number goes. And if you flip this up the other way round, you've got this straight edge. And this straight edge is not only good for just being, as the name suggests, a straight edge, but you can, some name sets don't have a curve. They have a straight edge. So that's where you would do the same process as this with the curve, but with a straight edge. So you would find the middle, you'd line up the letters. This one here, I've written the numbers 1 to 19 there, and 1 to 19 there, so you can see. So you can make sure that the letters, the edge of the letters, lines up equally each side. So for a straight one, you would say, right, okay, so the last letter is there on the 35 or the 14. So that means the beginning letter, the outside, has to be there. And then you know you've got that lined up. Now what we've got, to be able to work out the spacing for where the number goes, you would use these markings down the side. Now they only come, as you can see on one of the ones that we sell, you've only got them down one side. So what I recommend is you draw them up this side as well. So then you can do the same process with doing the marks each side and then line it up with the heat-proof marker. So you would say, right, okay, here's the bottom of the name set. I want it to be 50 mil from the top. So I'll draw a dot there, and I would draw a dot there, which is the 50 mils. Then I would use the straight edge and I would draw a line. And then again, you find the middle. So that is what we use to get the name set positioning and spacing just right. Like I say, I have a number of these that are for sale. They don't have all of the markings on, so the purpose of this video was to show you what markings you should put on if you choose and how you would use them. So there you have it. This is the tool, the secret tool that you need to be able to get the perfect curve. And like I say, we have them available to buy. Drop us a DM on any of the socials or leave a comment in the comment section and we can sort you on those out. They're £15 plus postage and packaging. And then, like I say, what we've gone through is what the point is of these markings that we've added on, that you can add on to your tool, and how to use them. I hope you found that useful. Let us know if you have any questions or anything. Please remember to click like and subscribe, and thank you for your time.